What's up, guys? You're listening to Confessions of a Gym Rat, getting you through the 9 to 5 as healthily and happily as possible. Guys, I have some explaining to do. Okay, this is going to be quite an episode. If you're on YouTube, if you're not on YouTube, pop onto YouTube really quick so you can see my shirt here. Hold on, let me get to the side here. I know my microphone's kind of in the way. I got a lot of questions from you guys asking me this week because I was on a 2-day journey to try and get these SNL tickets because the Jonas Brothers were playing on SNL this week. I got a lot of questions asking me, how do you even get tickets for SNL? Like, what was the process? Like, why are you going there on Friday? Like, isn't it on Saturday? Blah, blah, blah. So I thought, you know what? Instead of typing out this long process to everybody that asked, I'm going to say it one time. I'm going to say it right here. And that's going to be a closed chapter on my life. So buckle in, because I got a story for you guys, and I can't possibly move on with the rest of this podcast before talking about it. All right, so let's get comfy. Okay, where should I start the story? All right. Let's say, I saw on Instagram, I might have mentioned it last week, to be honest, I don't remember. I saw that the Jonas Brothers were playing at SNL. I said, how do I get tickets? I went to SNL's bio. For a reference point, I live very close to New York City, so I'm in and out. I just never bothered to see SNL, Jimmy Fallon. I don't know. I've watched it, of course, a bunch of times. it's never something I did before. So I go to SNL's link in their bio thinking there's going to be a Ticketmaster site or something that I could get tickets. And I was like, they're probably going to be expensive, but it's a Jonas Brothers, so I'll pay for it. So I see standby reservation. So I'm like, what's this? Click on the link. Basically, there's 2 ways you can get tickets for SNL. And listen, this is going to get a little dicey, a little confusing, so stick with me. Stick with me here. The first way that you can get SNL tickets is that you are part of the season tickets. Now, to get season tickets, you have to email them, basically sending in an application on why you deserve the season tickets. It's bizarre. That's all I really know about it. All I know is that you have to do it by August or something for the new season that starts every January. But you basically have to write an essay on why you should get the tickets, which sounds like a huge freaking waste of my time, to be honest. But I believe, and now I could be wrong on this part because again, I didn't look into it. I believe once you are a season ticket holder, you don't get tickets to every show. They just give you, you get a few shows based on a lottery. So let's say, I guess for this example, I'm someone who doesn't like the Jonas Brothers or Molly Shannon, who is the host, and that's what I get. I get tickets for April 8th. I find out it's the Jonas Brothers, and I'm like, I don't want to go anymore. That's a seat in the room that opens up. Now there's a certain amount of seats for season ticket holders. I think they save a little bit of room for celebrities, and then the guests, the hosts and the musical guests, are allowed to bring as many guests as they want. Everything left over is for standby tickets. Okay, you following with me so far? So you either you have the season tickets or you were invited by one of the members. Or guests, I should say. That's how you get in. Everything else goes to standby. So it's very dicey. You don't know how many people they're going to take in per night. But also, FYI, in case you've never been inside 30 Rock, the studios are small. Just like a Broadway theater is small. There's not a ton of room in there. I think they could fit they fit 120 people, somewhere around there. It's super, super small. So I went to go get the standby tickets, obviously, because I didn't have a regular ticket, right? So this is where my journey This is where my journey begins. This is how us normal folk would go about getting a ticket. A new process they introduced is, if you're quick enough, you can get a reservation number for standby tickets the Thursday before every Saturday show. So obviously there's a show every Saturday. This is not news to everyone. So basically every Thursday, tickets or reservation numbers for standby tickets are given out at 10 a.m. or you could reserve for one. So that's what I did, right? That was step number one. I was quick with my fingers. They give out 300 reservation numbers. Some of them are for dress rehearsal. Some of them are for live show. I picked live show, of course, which maybe I shouldn't have. Not the point. But it's 300 total. I was 275 and 276 because I put in for two people. So I was just quick enough. Following with me? Sound good so far? This is where we get a little more into it, or it just keeps spiraling downhill. Okay, so they email you a little bit after you put in like for the reservation, okay? And they send me an email. You know what? Maybe I might have deleted it, honestly, because I was frustrated. Let me see if I could pull it up. Oh yes, okay. Congratulations, we have 2 standby reservations under your name for the live show standby Saturday night. For Saturday Night Live, you and your guests are 275 and 276. Here's the standby process. Ready? Check in at the in-person standby line at the 49th Street NBC Studios marquee between 6 and 7 p.m. on April 7th, 2023. So if you are one of those 300 people, you have to get you have to check in, be in the standby line between 6 and 7 p.m. the Friday before the show, the day before the show, at 30 Rock, right? Cool. Step 2, you will be assigned to line up in numerical order based on your standby reservation. Please note, if you do not have a reservation, you will not be able to get in line until after 7 p.m. So I showed up closer. I think I showed up at like 6:45 or 6:50. The number that they email you, the 275, 276, is the number that you're going to have to line up in. So it's not like if I got there at 6, I wouldn't be at any advantage. So in between 6 and 7, the latest to check in for the reservation number is 7 p.m. At 7 p.m., everybody else can start lining up for standby. So you're not allowed to get in the line until after 7. But if I didn't get a reservation number and I still want to go, you just get in line behind those people at 7 o'clock. So I'm thinking, all right, in between 6 and 7, I'll check in, I'll get my reservation number, whatever. No. Oh, that would be too easy. Step 3. Standby cards will be handed out at approximately 12:01 a.m. Saturday, April 8th. All guests must be fully vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. We want to make sure the standby process is fair for everyone, so all standby line members must remain in line at all times after checking in Friday night. If you do not wait in line, you will not be admitted to the show. No line sitters, please. The use of alcohol, lounge chairs, mattresses, sleeping bags, and tents will not be permitted. Of course, you are free to take minimal, necessary breaks, i.e. going to the bathroom, from the line. Every member of the line is required to present a valid photo ID and proof of vaccination at check-in on 49th Street when the standby cards are issued and at the return time. Remember, closing line of the email. Remember, a standby card does not guarantee admission. So this is where we're at so far. I have to get in line by 7 p.m. Everybody has to get in line, for the reservation number. But just because I'm checked in, which we were checked in, I would say checked in like 7:05, 7:10, like by the woman, but we were all in line. Like she goes down the road with the clipboard. Just because you're checked in, you can't leave. You can't leave. No line sitters either. You have to stay in that line until 12:01 a.m. Why? 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 I'm actually baffled. Like, I was like baffled at the process, and I still am. I want an explanation from somebody high up at NBC Studios, because this, to be honest, like, I was talking to other people in line and they were like, what's the point of this? And I said, honestly, it just seems like hazing. It just seems like a way to weed people out, but it's nonsense and it's a waste of time and space, because now we're lined up on the sidewalk where people are walking. It's like not like the street's closed every Friday night for this. If I'm checked in, why do I have to wait in a line for 5 hours? Why? What is actually the point? If I'm not back at 12:01 when you guys give out the tickets, that's my problem. That sucks for me, So that was my first bone to pick. I was like, this makes absolutely no goddamn sense. Whatever. I was also hearing, they only let in about like 80, like 50 to 80. I've heard they let in between 50 to 80 standby. So I'm like, 275, I don't stand a chance. So we get to the line and I'm like, all right, it turns out that there was not 275 people in front of me. Long story short, my standby card number ended up being number 83. Okay. So I had to wait until midnight, of course, got my standby number, went back home, fell asleep on the train, all is well. And I go back the next day, because now you have to show up the next day at the NBC studio shop before 9:45. I just want to let you know, they don't go on until 11:30. They did not start letting people in until or through the process, which I got to, until 10:45 p.m. So again, the extra hour that I'm standing there doing nothing, for what? Literally for what? And the workers too, like, you're paying these people to stand out here and watch us, for what? So that's the deal. You got to show back up at 9:45 by 9:45 p.m. the next day, and you have to get back into numerical order. So you check in, and then they lined us up in rows of 10, and you went like where your line was. So I was 83, so I was in like the 8th row, you know? Gosh, I don't really know. I think some people might have been missing, some might have not. There definitely wasn't a full 83 people in front of me, or 82 people in front of me. But as time went on, it filled. It filled, and I was getting a little nervous. I heard they let 76 people into dress rehearsal. So I was like, all right. I got a shot. There's about 90-ish people total, I would say. So we're standing there. We're waiting. Nobody offers a bottle of water. There's no bottles of water in the store. By the way, if you got out of the line, they yelled at you. There's no chairs. Everyone's in their nice outfits. I'm in heels. No place to sit. At 10:45, they start calling people in to go through security. So we all go through security. They take 10 at a time. So it takes I don't know, so it goes smoothly. We get through security, and then there's a staircase right at the end of security. They have us line up 2 by 2, like numbers 1 and 2, numbers 3 and 4 behind each other in a line. And there's a huge staircase that leads upstairs to the studio, which I don't really know. The studio is basically like, so you go in upstairs and it's like a big lobby area, and then there's elevators that will take you to like the dressing rooms, like of where people are, and then there's the actual stage. So it's basically like that. Once you get up those stairs and through that door, you're in Saturday Night Live's area, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, you're in their office of 30 Rock. Does that make sense? I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe that. So anyway, I'm getting a little nervous because I'm like, I don't know. I've heard people don't make it up the stairs. That'd be a bummer. And they start moving all of us. They're like, all right, up, 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 up. We get through the doors. And now I'm inside the what do I want to call it? I'm going to say studio. I'm going to call it the studio and say the actual room was like the stage, like the theater. So I'm in the studio. It's very nice in there, by the way. And we're all lined up 2 by 2. And they start letting a bunch of people in. And the line's moving. Like, it's moving. They let a decent amount of people in, and then they stopped. So I'm like, all right. We're getting a little closer. At this point, it's like 11. Or 11 o'clock. I would say it's like 11 o'clock. I'm getting nervous, though. I'm getting real nervous. Another big influx of people get let in. Line stops again. Time's ticking. Nobody's saying anything. There's 2 workers at the door looking at their phone, probably deciding like, oh, how many, like talking to somebody in there of how many seats they are. They let another 10 people in. I'm like, all right, I'm counting. They let another 2 people in. Time's ticking. It's 11:23. Now, there are 11 people in front of me. I have been standing for about 3 hours. These workers are coming out of rooms with little bottles of water. Nobody offers us a single thing. None. And there's benches, but you can't sit. You have to stay in line or they will remove you. They were dead serious. One worker comes out and she's like, all right, guys, I need you to all turn off your cell phones. There's a very strict no cell phone policy. If you are caught with your cell phone, you will never be allowed back in the theater. So you need to shut it off now. So I'm like, oh my God, okay. Shut off my phone. I'm texting my friends. I'm like, if you don't hear from me, it's a good thing. Like, I can't have my phone. I shut off my phone. I hear this guy whispering. It's 11:28. 11:28, 2 minutes before airtime. 11 people in front of me. All right, guys, unfortunately, we've reached capacity. We cannot let any more of you guys in. We really do encourage you to show up and try for future shows. The most gut-wrenching part was the security guard that was on his tippy toes, mouth open, ready to talk before this guy's sentence was finished. And as soon as he done, goes, all right, guys, follow me out these staircases now. Have a good night. You can't stay here. Like, aggressive, where I was like, sir, we are a bunch of young adult women who just want to see the Jonas Brothers. Nobody's going to hurt you or put up a fight. Can you have like maybe a little bit of empathy for the 7 hours we all dedicated to our lives to not get in 2 minutes before the show when there was maybe 20 of us left? He was ready. Like, he was like, get the fuck out. We can't have you here. That rubbed me the wrong way. So that was that. 2 minutes before showtime, 11 people in front of me. I waited from like 6:30 to 12:30 a.m., so 6 hours the first day. And I waited from like 9 to 11:30 the second day. So I gave a good 8.5 hours, a good full work day, just to be told no. And they don't give you, like, when you're down there, they won't tell you anything. Like, if we tried to ask and we're like, hey, can you guys see like how much family and friends the celebrities or like the guests are bringing? Like, what do you think our odds are? They're like, sorry, we don't know. Whereas like they could have been honest and said, hey, numbers 80 through 99, like, it's just, there's not enough room. It's not happening for you guys. I'm sorry. And I would have sent my butt home hours ago. So NBC has been around since like the 1920s. Saturday Night Live is in its 48th season. I have no experience in television event planning. I have a marketing degree. That's it. I have no experience in entertainment. I can come up with a better solution on how to get these standby tickets that doesn't waste 8.5 hours of somebody's lives. Why can't NBC? I want to know the actual reason. Why I had to check in latest 7 p.m. but couldn't get my standby ticket until 12:01 a.m. Because now it's Sunday and I am goddamn tired from 2 days of this shit. And I spent money getting in and out of the city. For what? By the way, SNL tickets are free. Didn't know that. And I'm going to assume that part of it is they want to make the process really hard so they can get through the standby line and like the line's not ridiculously long. But why have the reservation number if it offers me no perks instead only getting closer to the line? If I have a reservation, I should not have to wait in the line. And then that will make the line shorter. Don't you think, NBC? Don't you think? I don't know. I was really disappointed. New York has just not been good to me. I told you guys like months ago when the 2 times that I went to go see Jesse Williams on Broadway and he wasn't there. Both times. So I did have a sick feeling as I saw people entering the room. I was like, it's going to happen to you, Liz. You're not going to get in there because why would things work out? Why? Why would they work out? But I did get this t-shirt. I did have to pay for it, of course, because they wouldn't, you waste 8.5 hours of your life. They're not even going to give you a fucking bottle of water. Not even a bottle of water. But the t-shirts, they brought some out, and I was telling the woman before, like, I made a little friend at the shop, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta ask, like, are your t-shirts for sale? Because I really like the shirt, because they make shirts every week for whoever's the guest musical guest. You guys can't see, but on my back it says Molly Shannon and Jonas Brothers, which is why I wanted it, of course. And she was like, oh, we're sold out right now, but we're gonna bring some out later. So they bring some out, and I run, and I grab one, and I pay immediately. And some employee's like, you're in standby. You cannot leave the line. And I'm like, you know what, woman? Here's the thing. I already inserted my credit card into the machine, so I'm finishing up the process. I've been waiting in this line for like an hour and a half. I'm probably not going to get in tonight. Can you maybe, just let me have this goddamn t-shirt? Thank you very much. So that was that. I still haven't watched the episode yet. I'll probably get to it, I don't know, maybe tomorrow, because I am recording this on Sunday night. I was going to record my podcast yesterday on Saturdays like I normally do, but I was like, I can't tell them this story and not have the second half to it. I can't just tell them and have them not know how it ends. You know what I mean? So that's my SNL story. That's my story for the week. So if you are curious on how to get tickets, that's it. That's the ticket. That's the whole process. If you feel like yelling at SNL to tell them that it's stupid, go troll them. I think I just might.